Greetings class, this is Mr. Mikasa and today's digital lesson is dedicated to showing you guys how to use Google Drive. Now in this computers class, Google Drive is going to be a very important part of your guys' lessons, and the reason why is because most of your assessments that you'll do for my class will be tied with Google Drive. So showing you how to use it, showing you how to set it up, how to organize it, how to submit assignments, these are all going to be very, very important facets for you to learn about Google Drive. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. This is going to be part of a two-part lesson. The first part of the lesson, I'm going to show you guys how to navigate and to show you the different features of Google Drive. And the second half of the lesson, which will be done on another day, you guys will be learning how to set up your guys' Google Drives and also how to organize it. So that way all of your lessons are ready to go and all of your classes are organized, and that way you can upload your material. So the first thing you need to do, of course, is here's another screenshot of my laptop. As you can see, we got the blue cyclone of our school's mascot. And the first thing you do, of course, is open your web browser. Doesn't matter which web browser you use, so long as you go to the Google website is what you need to do. So you just go to google.com, and this is what you're going to be greeted with. Now, Google Drive is kind of nice because Google Drive is what is called a cloud storage system is pretty much how it works. Now, if you want to know what we mean by that, what is a cloud storage or a cloud application? What that means is that all of the data and all the materials that you create on Google Drive are saved wirelessly onto Google's servers. Google's has had like these huge massive amounts of servers, which are basically giant hard drives, where they store all this information that you upload to Google Drive. And the nice thing about that is because it's a digital-based platform, you don't need to worry about using a specific computer or using a specific operating system or using programs that might not communicate with other programs, all kinds of stuff. And that's the reason why Google Drive is so nice. Now to access Google Drive, what you'll need to do is look at the upper right hand corner of your screen. Now you'll have a little thing that says Gmail, you have images, you have a little icon for your account. What you want to do is access your applications, which is represented by this waffle icon. You click on that, look for Google Drive, and you click that open, and it takes you directly into the program. So this is what Google Drive looks like, right? For the most part, Google Drive is pretty much divided up into two major sections. You have your Drive, which shows you all the files as well as all of the different materials that you have on your Google Drive. And the second way you navigate through is this navigation pane over here on the left-hand side. These two facets are the most important parts of you to use to navigate Google Drive. This area shows you all your files. This is how you can use about using those different files and how to communicate with your different users and how to collaborate, that sort of thing. All right. So this is pretty much how you navigate through Google Drive. So if you look up here, you get different icons. For example, you have what's called the grid view. If you want to click on this, you can change the way that your drive looks like. You can make it look like this, where you can see the little thumbnails of each of your guys' applications. I suggest that you use the thumbnail look, which is look like this. It shows you the thumbnail as well as the name of a list, because it's a little bit easier to organize, in my opinion. So that's one thing I want to talk about. So that's what that little button up there does. If you click on this little drop-down menu, what this does is it gives you options to create folders, to create upload files, to use different applications. So that's the little shortcut there. This plus button that you see on the left-hand side does exactly the same thing as well. All right, so that's pretty much what it does. Okay, so if you're wondering what that does, these are both interchangeable. Now these buttons here, of course, these ones, for example, priority. For example, if you were to click on this one, it shows you any documents that are prioritized in your drive. You just flag it as being documents that are important to you. If you click on the share with me, these are files that are shared with you, so that way you can work collaboratively with your peers or with your teachers. Recent, for example, as I click on this one, it shows you all the different documents I've recently given to you, like today, yesterday, and earlier in the week and such. Starred is if anything that you want to mark with a star to make sure that it's important, so that way you can always access it. And of course, trash is basically where you throw away any documents you're not interested in using. So that's pretty much how you navigate through your guys' Google Drive. That's how it kind of goes up to the main point here. Now, what I want you to do for this lesson is I want you guys to set up your Google Drives. I want you to organize them, because Google Drive is going to be the primary application that you're going to use for all of your classes, especially during right now for remote learning. And as you can see here, I have two files just kind of sticking right here. I don't really have a lot of stuff in my drive, but as the school year progresses, I'll accumulate more and more files from all of my different classes. And if I don't find a way to organize it all, it's going to be a huge mess. This is going to clog up my entirety of my drive. It's going to be very difficult to navigate. It's going to be very difficult to find anything that I might need. So because of that, what I want you guys to do is to organize your drives. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Now, the first thing we do, of course, is use our new button. And then we're going to do this through using folders. That's what we're going to do, okay? So what is a folder? So if you click on the little new icon, you go to folder, click on the folder, what it's going to ask you to do is to name a folder. A folder is pretty much just like a digital version of a real-life folder. What is folders? Folders are things that you put things inside of, okay? To store things, help organize your materials. In this case, we're going to make a folder for each one of your classes. So let's go and start with this 7th grade computers technology class. I'm going to call this one 7th grade computers. All right. As you can see, I was making it. So you can see I have my brand new folder now, and then it's perfectly made. Okay. What you need to do is do exactly the same thing and create a folder for each of your different classes. All right. Now, why do you want to do that? Let's pretend, for example, that this Unit 1 homework file that I have is for my 7th grade computers class, and I'm a kid, I'm a 7th grader who's taking a 7th grade computers class. Now, if I just leave this file out here, and let's say I have another file that shows up, let's say I have another new document, let's say I have this one here. Let's go create a new document real quick. Let's say I have another file called Unit 1 homework as well, like this. Let's save that. Now, if you look here back here, I now have 2 different Unit 1 homeworks. All right, you see that? Now, one might be used for my computers class, which is this one here, while this one might be for my language and literature class, all right? The question, though, is, like I said before, if you don't organize your workspace, it can be very confusing to figure out which assignment belongs where, all right? So this is where your folders come in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another folder real quick. I'm going to call that my language arts class. So now what I can do now is take the folders and put my materials within my different classes. So since I know this one here is from my computers class, I click it, drag it directly to my 7th grade class, let go of it, and it transfers it in right there. Okay, I can do a click and drag to drop off my materials inside my folders. Another way you could do it, of course, as well, is if you were to right-click this, the file. You can go over here where it says Move, like that. So you can say Move To. You can click on that as well. It's going to bring up a little My Drive icon. You can click on your 7th grade, your language arts class, hit the next arrow, and then say Move Here. You can move it that way as well. Either way is perfectly fine. I find the drag and drop is the faster way of doing it, but whatever the case may be, you use whatever is easiest for you. Okay? So by doing that, if I click on my 7th grade folder now for computers, I can see all my files for that class. If I want to go back to my drive, I just click on the My Drive button to go back to the rest of my drive. If I want to check out my language arts class, I can double click that, and I can see all the files that are associated from my language arts class. And I can go back to my drive as well. Now what I want you guys to do, now that you have some basic understanding of how this format works and pretty much how this digital Dropbox works, what I want you to do is I want you to make a folder for every single one of your classes that you have. Because some of your classes, even your elective classes, they might require you to submit things to them digitally, whether it's photos that you take with your phone or assignments that you work on and send it to them electronically. A nice, easy way is to do all of this in Google Drive, so that way it's nice and organized. So for example, if you have a algebra class, for example, I'll go to File, I'll go to New Folder and call it Algebra, like that. Now my algebra file is made. Let's say I need one for science, so I make a science one. So there's my science folder. Let's say I need one for, let's see here. Let's say we need one for PE. Okay, so I put one for PE like that. Let's say I need another folder for my social studies class. Call social studies. Hit create. So now I got a social studies folder. Let's pretend I need one for art as well. So I'm going to do art. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go. So now we have all 7 of our folders for our different classes that we're taking for the first quarter. So that's exactly how you guys lay out your guys' folders. So that way it's really, really simple and it's really easy, so that way you can get your materials very, very quickly. So that's the first thing I want you to do. I want you to create a folder in Google Drive for every single one of your guys' classes. And that's going to be the very first lesson I want you guys to use for your very first assessment. So for your assessment for this class, what I want you to do is I want you to take your guys' Google Drives. I want you to make a folder for every single one of your classes, just like this. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys take a minute to do that real quick, and I'm going to talk about exactly how you guys are going to submit this assignment. So go ahead and take a minute, get that made up, make all your folders for different classes, and now you're going to do an assignment for me to show that you actually did that. Alright, so now for this point, at this time, you should have a folder for every single one of your classes, and it should look something like this, like I have in this example on my Google Drive. Now that you have your guys' folders made, what I want you to do now is take a screenshot of your desktop, of your screen, of all of your folders laid out in Google Drive, and I want you to submit that to me for you guys' assignment for this class for today. Now, if you're not sure how to do a screenshot, do not worry. I'm going to teach you guys how to do that real quick. Now, depending on what kind of computer you're using, I'm going to pull up a little Word document here. Depending on what kind of computer you're using, you use different buttons in order to do a screenshot for your computer, right? So, for example, I'm using a Macintosh computer. So, if you're using any products maybe by Apple, this is how you do a screenshot. What you need to do is hit the Shift button, plus the Command button, plus the number 3 button, and it'll take a screenshot for your computer, okay? If you're using a PC, which is using anything that uses Windows or made by IBM or any of its derivatives, what you'll need to look for is what's called the print screen button. If you look on your keyboard, the print screen button will look like this. It'll be a little button that says PRT, capital P, lowercase rt, capital S, lowercase cn, print screen button. Now, either way you take it, of course, once your screenshot is made, you'll need to name your file. In this case, I want you to name your file Google Drive screenshot. That's what I want you to do, okay? So in this case, I'm going to take a look at my Google shot. I'm going to do a screenshot with my Macintosh. I'm going to press the Shift key, the Command key, plus a 3. You hit the little photo icon. If you look here on my desktop, it's going to give you my screenshot. So if I was to click on this real quick and double click it, as you can see, it's just an image of my screenshot, my computer screen with this file. So you see there, my screenshot's made. Now remember, you're going to call this Google Drive screenshot, so I'm going to name it real quick. Google Drive screenshot. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to upload it to my folder onto Google Drive. So now that we've made that file, the question then becomes, how do I get this file onto my Google Drive? To do that, what you need to do is use this little plus button. So when you select the plus button, you can give it a menu of different options you can use. The one you want to use is called file to upload. So you click on that. What it's going to do is going to make you search your computer. So I'm going to go to my desktop here, and I'm going to find my file that I want to upload on a Google Drive. I select that file. I hit open. It's going to load it up here, as you can see here on the bottom. It's now loaded up. Close the little update icon. And if I look later on down my screen, I can see that my Google Drive screenshot is now located on my drive. In fact, if I was to double click and open it, there it is, right there. Now what you do, of course, then take your guys' screenshots, drag and drop into your 7th grade computers class. So that way we know it's inside of it. And if we click inside of it, there it is, you guys. Just like that. So what I want you to do now for the rest of the time is to do that, make those folders, get that screenshot inside of your guys' drive, and then you're done for the day for your guys' lesson. On the next lesson of Google Drive, we're going to show you guys how to organize your folders even further. Okay? So, once again, you guys, if you have any questions whatsoever about how to do this program, please do not hesitate to contact me. I'm more than happy to help you guys out with remote learning, so that way you can get that done, okay? So we'll catch you guys. That's going to do it for this one, you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next lesson. You guys stay classy and keep on rocking. We'll catch you guys in the next lesson.